In 1908, a broke journalist named Napoleon Hill was assigned to interview the richest man in America. He expected an hour. He got 3 days. Andrew Carnegie had a secret, not about money, about something far more fundamental. He had discovered, after a lifetime of building steel empires and turning ordinary men into extraordinary ones, that success is not an accident. It follows a pattern. Carnegie called it the science of achievement. And after those 3 days, he challenged Napoleon Hill with one of the boldest requests in history. Would Hill be willing to spend the next 20 years of his life interviewing the 500 most successful people alive, unpaid, to organize this secret into something the world could use? Hill said yes. And what he discovered changed everything. The first principle is this: definiteness of purpose. Not a wish, not a hope, not a vague direction. A burning, obsessive, specific desire, so clear that it occupies your mind the moment you wake up and the moment before you sleep. Hill found that of the 500 men he interviewed, men like Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, Theodore Roosevelt, John D. Rockefeller, every single one of them had this in common. They did not pursue success generally. They pursued one specific thing with a level of focus most people reserve for nothing. The second principle is the mastermind. No great achievement in history was built alone. Every one of Hill's 500 interviews revealed a network, a group of trusted people who sharpened each other's thinking. Carnegie had his inner circle. Edison had his. Ford had his. The mind, Hill found, does not simply add when placed with another mind. It multiplies. Two minds working in perfect harmony produce something neither could alone. He called this the mastermind principle, and it is the most overlooked secret in the entire philosophy of success. The third principle is the one most people refuse to accept. Hill called it autosuggestion, the idea that what you repeatedly tell yourself, your mind eventually accepts as fact. Not metaphorically, literally. The brain does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is real. This is not mysticism. It is neuroscience, decades before neuroscience had the tools to prove it. Ford imagined a V8 engine before anyone told him it was possible. These men did not achieve and then believe. They believed, and achievement followed. The fourth principle is the one that costs the most. Hill called it going the extra mile, giving more than you are paid for, doing more than is expected. Not because the world rewards generosity automatically, it doesn't, but because the habit of going beyond what is required builds something inside you that no amount of money can buy. It builds the kind of reputation that makes the world pull you forward instead of pushing back. And the fifth principle, the one that ties all others together, is persistence. Not talent, not intelligence, not timing, not luck. Hill sat across from men who had failed dozens of times, men who had been broke, mocked, dismissed. And every single one of them had this in common: they did not stop. Carnegie said it plainly. The only difference between a failure and a success is that the success got up one more time. In 1937, Napoleon Hill published Think and Grow Rich. It was not a book about money. It was a code book for achievement, a distillation of 20 years and 500 conversations with the greatest achievers in American history. The strangest thing about this philosophy is not that it works. It is that most people will hear it, nod, and do nothing. Because the secret has never been a secret. The secret is doing the thing most people already know they should do, with the focus, the persistence, and the belief most people never quite manage to sustain. The question is not whether the philosophy works. The question is whether you will use it.